Hello everybody, welcome at today's webinar about fleet work with Communal Services and Waste Management Extension. Today we will discuss our new solution that we are planning to offer, and we'll go through these topics. First, we'll shortly discuss the purpose and target for this solution. We will briefly mention the previous solutions that we are offering in this field, and then we'll go through the product details like recording the routes, editing, and following the routes. And then we will discuss some future development. So in the beginning, who's the target group for the solution? As you can see, with the solution, we would like to focus on waste removal companies, snow plowing, road cleaning, and even grass cutting in some scenarios. What is common for all these companies is that they drive the same route repetitively. So these are the kind of solutions where the target is not shortest route, but a route which covers some area. These routes are planned at some stage and then they are followed. Now you may ask, why would somebody need navigation for this businesses or for this purpose? The reason is that you need to have some operational safety and you need to have replaceability of your drivers. Currently, there are drivers who drive the same route and they remember them. But what happens if the person goes on vacation? There is nobody else who knows the route, so you need to provide this solution to the driver in order that he can follow the same route at the same efficiency as the previous driver. Most of you who have joined this webinar are our integrators, so we assume that you will be reselling this solution, and this should be the main reason or the main topic that you would present to your customers when offering this solution. Discussing for whom it is targeted, I also have to tell for whom it is not targeted because of some technical reasons. This solution is not intended to be used for designing specific routes for long-haul truck companies or for any business where the drivers or where the vehicles are driving at, let's say, fast speed, because we will be showing the navigation mode that is a little bit different than the standard navigation mode. Now, to the previous solutions, some of you have received a trial from us of the previous solution, which was Route Designer. By release of this solution, this previous solution will be discontinued. The main reasons why we decided to do so is that the previous solution was quite difficult to be used by the dispatchers, and the maintenance of the product was quite costly, and the output, the prepared routes in this solution have been map dependent, so it was not possible to transfer the routes to new maps. And of course, the new solution that we prepared provides much better user experience also for the driver as for the dispatcher. So now we go to the topic like recording the routes. So let's say you have a fleet of vehicles, you have there some drivers who are driving the routes already. Everybody knows his route. So what you can do is to record the routes by the drivers who know them and import them into the solution. Another option is that if you are using some optimizing tools that generate the routes automatically, you can export them and import into this solution. The solution is a web-based solution, so all the routes that you import, you will have stored in the cloud, so you don't have to worry about the file management. Okay, so now to editing the routes. Uh, the routes, when they are imported into the solution, if they are imported as a sequence of recordings that contains a point every second, is the whole sequence is during the import pre-cleaned automatically. That means that only the points which define the route geometry are left in the route. The solution provides easy editing of the points that remain, so you can easily remove them, you can move them around the map, you can add new ones, so this will be probably interesting for those who create the routes manually. And the routes part can have changed color, so you can highlight some part of the routes and use this mechanism to inform the driver about that he has to provide some extra functionality on that part of the route. So now I will be starting a short demonstration how it is possible to create and edit the routes. So this is the interface of our web solution, Fleetwork. There is a part for editing the routes. So I can start a new route. I can start the route by just manually typing in the points, or there is a possibility to import some either NMEA log or some CSV file with the coordinates. So I have here one example which I have driven around our offices. Now you can see that the route is pre-cleaned, so this was the trip that we've been driving. You can see that the G position was not exactly accurate, but this doesn't matter because the solution is robust enough. But if there are some remaining points that I would like to remove, I can remove them easily. There is possible to add new points, so they are added after the last one. So you can see that by clicking, it's possible to easily generate new route. But let's delete this or okay. The next thing about the route generation, the navigation or the solution automatically identifies the geometry of the route, and the spoken instructions that are given to the driver are based on the route geometry. So let's say if there is a 90 angle degree here, at this point there will be automatically created an instruction turn right. So this is generated automatically, you don't have to edit this, but in case you would like to change the instruction, for example, if there would be a roundabout, you can manually edit these instructions. So here you have a list of the instructions that you can put there, so it can be either turning sharp right, easy right, and at the bottom you have the instructions for the roundabouts. But that would be only in case that you like to change the instruction that is generated automatically. Now what's good that after these points you can add a custom instruction that will be spoken to the driver. So this way you can give him instruction like, for example, after turning right you will get on the street where you have to collect waste bins on the right side. So you can add the instruction here. And now the point is saved with the custom instructions that will be given to the driver. Now, you can also highlight the routes so that the driver will see, for example, there will be some standard that, for example, collecting waste bins on the right side is a green color, so you can change it to green. Now, if activity changes, you can add a custom message like collect on both sides, and you can change the color for both sides to different one, for example. Now you have it. If you would like to give some extra information in the route, you can add a new point by clicking on the route, and this point you can put there some instructions like here you have to drive back to the yard because otherwise you will not be able to get out. So for example, drive reward side to the yard. So you can add custom messages also in the middle of the route. So this way you can manually edit or create routes from the scratch. When you're finished with editing, here is an export and save that saves the route, and here you have a so-called OFG file that you can load to the mobile device, and the driver can follow the route. So here you have the list of the routes that you have created. Now back to the presentation. Okay, so now that we have created the routes, let's get to the topic how to follow the route. So we are giving this route to the driver. For this, there is a new mobile client that is called Route Loader. This solution provides possibility to navigate to the beginning of the route, and when the beginning of the route is reached, the navigation switches to a different navigation mode. We call this mode guided navigation mode or off-road. That's because it allows navigating also in the off-road. So what is different in this navigation mode? The first thing, that the route doesn't have to be tied to the route geometry. So you can plan the routes which do not match the map exactly. You can plan the roads which are driving on non-mapped road parts. You can design roads that drive through park places or in the middle of industrial buildings or industrial yards. And the next thing is that also the vehicle position is not tied to the route, so that's why it's thanks to this it's also possible to follow these routes. In order to have a good, clear visibility of the routes can have loops and can drive through the same place many times. For this, there is the visibility of the route which is only in the next 500 meters. The rest of the route is shown in transparent color, so it doesn't confuse the driver. And it's possible to deviate from the route and return back on different place in case that there are some obstacles on the road and it's not possible to follow the route exactly. What is also important, the solution offers the possibility to pause the route. So let's say that the waste truck is full of waste and it has to unload the stuff. So in that case, pausing the route will switch the navigation to the normal navigation mode. It's possible to use this navigation mode to drive to the waste yard, and then when resuming the route, the solution navigates driver back to the place where the route was posted, and he will follow the trip from that place further. The next thing that is good about this mode that the driver is receiving also the instructions, the voice instructions through the TTS. Okay, so now we have for you a short video that will demonstrate this, and I will be commenting this video. So now in the beginning we have the situation like the driver is navigated to the beginning of the route, so you see that we have a standard navigation mode, and as we approach this place, the navigation is switched to the custom navigation mode. You can see that I have part of the route which is in green color, and there is instruction about collecting
After 300 meters, turn right.
Now we will be simulating also pausing the route. So let's say the driver is full, he has to unload the vehicle. Now you see the route disappeared. So let's say he's driving to the waste yard, and when he's there he will resume the route. So we'll be driving just a short trip, not the whole trip to the waste yard, just a small loop. So now let's say that I'm resuming the route. You can see that I'm navigated back to the place where I have paused the route. So I'm not driving it from the start, but from the point where I have left it.
Turn right onto the blue cover.
Okay. Now you can see that I'm back on the route, and I'm resuming the route where I have posted. Now I'll be receiving instruction where I will be told to collect on both sides, and this is displayed with the violet color.
Both sides.
You can see that the route is not exactly matching the road geometry, so it's nearby, and this is the thing which is much more easy for editing the routes, that you don't have to observe the geometry. And you can see that I have the right turn arrows which are given based on the geometry of the route.
Turn left.
And also you can see that I'm seeing with the full color only the 500 meters ahead of me. The rest is transparent, and you can, as you can see, that the horizon. So generally this is how the navigation mode works. Okay. So what are the biggest benefits of this guided navigation mode, and why we have chosen this is that the routes that are generated are map independent, so you can prepare the routes in a different version of the map and drive them different. There is possibility to combine the navigation with off-road driving, so if you have non-mapped roads that are not in the map, you can still drive the same road. You can create geometry for the roads which are not existing in the map. There is this combination with the navigation mode, and you can smoothly switch to one regime to another. The route editor is on the web, and the routes are stored in the cloud, so you don't have to care about the distribution. And the routes can be easily modified with custom messages and custom colors. Now for the future development, as this is only in a pilot phase, what we will be doing next is that it will be possible to dispatch the routes from the web solution to the mobile clients automatically, so there will be possible to manage the drivers, and there will be a web view where it will be possible also to watch the driven routes and compare them with the plan, so you can have this. And all this development is projected to be released in November this year. So then we will be again returning back to you with the solution that it's available also for deployment phase. The status of the solution currently, we have available pilot for early adopters. So if you would like to receive the pilot solution, you can start testing this. You can start to show it to your customers and analyze if you have a possibility to sell this solution. And the solution that is currently available is supporting Android devices. Okay, so to summarize, we have introduced to you the new Fleetwork solution with Communal Services Extension. We have discussed how this solution replaces the previous solutions offered by us. We have went through the editing of the routes on the web tool, and we have shown a video of the navigation mode for the driver on the device. So this is a solution as we have prepared it now. There are some already early deployers who are using this in the field, but we will be welcoming any comments or questions or recommendations from your side, or in case you have some customers who have specific requests, please do not hesitate to consult these requirements with us, as we are currently improving the solution, so we are open to any feedback from you. Thank you.
Thank you, Viktor. And now we can pass to the questions. I will be just showing one by one all the questions that we have recorded in the chat so far. So the first one is from Simon Gunn, and he's asking if there is possible combine normal route with guided route in one trip.
Well, currently the solution doesn't offer this, but there is the combination, like you can navigate to beginning of such a trip. After finishing the trip, you can be navigated back to the depot, or maybe we can make like a sequencing of various trips after each other. So I will start one route, I'm navigating to the first route. After finishing that route, I will be assigned another route. So in that case, I will be dynamically navigated from the finish point of the first route to the beginning of the second route. So in this manner, it would be possible to do something like this, but normally this route is like one route at the time.
Okay, let's continue with Victor Velasquez. He's asking Victor, how can I pass the routes to the application? What is the route file format?
So currently, as the solution doesn't have finished the server-client communication part, you have to export the routes into the so-called OFG format, and you have to transfer it to this device, and device can load such route. The solution that we will be releasing in November will have possibility to assign separate routes to separate drivers. So you will have the whole dispatching solution where you will see the list of your drivers, the list of the routes, and you can then just send the routes to the drivers. And this will be done by push communication between the server and the client. So in the future, you will not be handling the files, and there will be no manual work around this.
Thank you, Victor. Now the question from Sebastian Menendez. Sebastian is asking us if he can plan a route that should be driven against the normal traffic routes. For example, a U-turn where it's not allowed.
Of course, that's why we designed this off-road navigation mode. So it's generally you're painting the lines, and the lines are just displayed on the road geometry, and it doesn't care about what are the restrictions in the map. So when you are using the navigation to the beginning of the route, you have all the restrictions in the place, even the track restrictions can be considered. But once you start the guided navigation mode, then there are no restrictions. You can drive also on the grass, for example. If there is somebody cutting the grass, he can drive on the grass. So there are no restrictions.
Thank you. Now the question from Jürgen Stausberg. Can I navigate in standard navigation from CR to SDR?
Yes, so uh, if as we have displayed, when you pause the route, you can switch the navigation to normal navigation mode and navigate to the waste yard. So this is normal. Whenever there is not guided route loaded, you can use the normal navigation mode.
Thank you. Now the question from Daniel. What happens if I leave the route without pausing it?
What happens, you will see a red line which is projecting your position back to the route, and the route progress goes together with you. So let's say that you drive on one route and there is a closed road, so you go to a different road which is parallel to the original. In that case, your position will be shown on the parallel road, and there will be a red line which will show your projection on the original route, and you will see the progress on the original route as you would be driving there. So then when you avoided the route, you can navigate along the special red line back to the original route that you have to follow. So this is the mechanism how you can avoid road closures. The navigation instruction, in case that you deviate further from the route, is instruction like drive back, that shows you that you should return to the original route.
Thank you. Now the question from Jürgen. Can I generate the routes on our map?
Well, you can generate it in any tool, but you have to import it into our solution. So at the end, you will see the solution on the Google Maps, which is in the Fleetwork solution.
Now the question from Mark Urup. Can a CSV route file, I assume this is be loaded directly into Fleetwork navigation?
No, you have to process it through our website, through our web tool, or another way, we can provide you with the documentation of the OFG file format, and you can design your own converter from CSV to OFG format.
Again, another question from Mark. What platforms are supported? For example, Linux.
So for the web solution, it's a web tool. So you need a browser, and you can use a browser no matter if it's in Windows or Linux. For the mobile client, the solution is available in Android. This is because we have some parts which are for server client communication. We use the Android classes for that. So in case there would be request for solutions for clients on other operating system than Android, we would have to discuss about the volume in order for us to develop that solution.
Now we have two questions from Marco. We'll try to answer them all together. So which maps are supported, like OpenStreetMaps, and on device also the 3D Sygic solution can be used?
Okay, so the planning of the route is map independent. So you can design it on OpenStreetMaps, you can design it on whatever, but well, our tool is using Google Maps, but it doesn't matter because you can import these routes into Sygic Communal Services Navigation, no matter whether with TomTom or Here Maps, both will be running. Now, concerning the 3D solution, we have designed this for the 2D solution because it's more the view, the look of the solution is more simple, so it's easier to draw the custom colored lines. So for the 3D solution, there is also the surface curvature, which will make it a little bit more difficult. So our plan is to stay with two-dimensional solution.
Thank you. Another question from Jürgen. Is there a special API for us to develop our own navigation experience and integrate it into the current application?
No, there is no API for this.
Okay, let's continue with Henning. We need Danish language web solution and navigation. Is that possible? Well, I guess this depends from the project. So I will continue with Igor. Can you send the route by air network?
Well, this will be available in the release that will be in November. So currently not yet, but the November release will have the over-the-air dispatching of the route.
Okay. Another question from Dan. Is it possible to send more than a route to more than one route probably, to one device at the same time?
Yes, this is what I haven't demonstrated. The routes can be stored on the device, and you can have a solution that driver has 50 different routes, and in the morning he loads one of the routes which he has in the device. So it's possible to have multiple routes in the device, but he's driving only one route at the time.
Thank you. Now the questions from William. Do you support invisible waypoints and adding stations with graphical representations and alerts?
Well, all the waypoints in this mode are invisible. As you have seen during the editing of the route, I have created a point in the middle of the route, and I have added a text message to that. So graphical representation, you can change only the color of the whole route. This is the only graphic representation that we support, and we offer the text-to-speech to do the alerts, because we think that this is more effective for the driver, as when he's driving, he doesn't have so much time to watch the screen of the device. More likely, he will listen to that device, and therefore we think that it's much better to do the alerts with spoken messages and not with some icons or something like this.
Thank you. Now we have more questions asking the same thing. So Sebastian and Igor are asking the same thing. If there will be a build for Windows CE.
Currently, it is not planned, but in case there will be significant interest, we will think it over and decide if we will go for a Windows CE build.
Okay, we have a question now from Henning. For wind service, we need to mark road obstruction, like speed bumps and road chicane, and warn the driver so he can lift up his snow scraper in time. Is this possible?
Well, we haven't thought about this yet, but you can put in front of the speed bump part of the route which will have a different color. But what I'm afraid that the accuracy of the GPS it's not sufficient to give the warning exactly. So you have to warn the driver some at least 50 meters ahead because you can have it that there is the inaccuracy that will like well just to be sure that he doesn't receive the warning when he already hit the speed bump so for this but if we can discuss this later how to provide these kind of warnings but I assume you need a device with very precise GPS for this.
Thank you. We'll be having last two questions and we will try to answer the ones we are not able to answer in the live webinar afterwards in email. So again from Mark, he's asking if it's possible to use offline this solution. I think it's important to be clear on this point.
Well, the solution, well, the driver solution can be used offline in case that all the routes are loaded in the device. So, for example, if you want to send the routes over the air, you can have like Wi-Fi connectivity in the depot, and while the vehicle is in the depot, you can push all the routes into the mobile device, and then it will be driver who will be selecting which route from the list to follow, and once he's driving the route he doesn't have to be online.
Thank you. And the last question from Miklos. Do you have a service REST API?
REST API for what exactly? Because you know the editing of the route doesn't have an API. Well, we could have some API for importing the routes from files, and we have API for attaching or for assigning tasks to the drivers, but there is no REST API for editing the route.
Okay, thank you, Viktor. We have to finish now this webinar, although we have some questions unanswered, but we will continue this conversation via email. So I would like to thank you for attending this webinar, and I wish you a pleasant day.